Good morning, team. Alvin Olsen again. Well, today's ride is across the Waikato over to Kapia. I'm riding my BMXf700 GS. Haven't been on it for a few months, having been down the south of the South Island. And today I've out for my second ride since I've been back. So as you can see, I'm dropping out of the Bay of Plenty down into the Waikato as we speak. Bit of roadblocks here on the top of the Kaimai Ranges. Roadworks. Hamilton's out there. We're going past that right over to the west coast. It's a total of about 155 k's from my place to there, and that'll give me about 4 hours in the saddle today, I think. Now, why am I going for that short ride is because I'm planning a ride down to the South Island in about another 2 weeks' time. And I've been checking my bike over, making sure everything's right, because that will be my steed for the trip south this time. I got to look at which way I'll go. Of course, on the bike I can take some back roads and take my time. I'll either use a motel or a bed and breakfast or something like that. So I've been doing some further modifications to my bike in preparation for this longer ride. The first one that's obvious to you in the front is the new windscreen here. It's a clear one now. I ordered that and it arrived while I was down the South Island. It doesn't come with a GPS, and to look down at the clock is not ideal for me, so I wanted a GPS up in front of me. So to do that, of course, I needed to strengthen the thing, and I've on the previous screen I put plastic uprights there to strengthen and take the whip out of things, but it still twitched and carried on, so I thought I'll go to steel this time, or aluminium. So that's what I've done. You can see those two uprights there either side of the GPS. They're aluminium curtain rails, and I've put that on with RTV glue rubber. Now, so far that's held up, but so far I've only done 47 k's, so we'll just see how it gets on when I get on the gravel road, and we'll give her a good twitch up then. Well, another thing that's new is the gloves. I got a new set of gloves here. Now, they need breaking in, of course, but to me they just feel a little bit tight at the moment. And the risk of them being tight is that you get pins and needles in your hands and get numbingness, and that means you're less responsive and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to give them a go today and see how they are out on the after a couple of hours, because you really need to let them break in, and I'll wear them intermittently if they are giving me jib still. But as you can see, that GPS is sitting there nicely now. It's not twitching like it was on that previous screen that I had there, and it's hard to see in the daytime, but there it is now. It comes up all right in the shadows, and when you're on back roads you're going slower. In there I've got the program for off-roads and four-wheel drive tracks, Australia and New Zealand, and that allows me to get in some back roads and find some shortcuts that you wouldn't take with the camper van. One more thing that I've done is improve my RAM mounts. These are the ones here to hold up the GoPros around the bike. I got one up on the back of my new hard pannier there up on high, and that'll give me my reverse view. I got one back right hanging out there, and that'll give me a forward view. I got this one down here that you can see here, looking back to give some views back intermittently, and my main one here is on my chin, so that's the one I'll be using. We call that primary and the other one secondary shots or B-roll. Coming into Hamilton now.
Then 1.5 kilometers, enter the roundabout.
Oh yes. So we're crossing the Cobham Bridge here over the Waikato River. Waikato, don't look too long, Alvin, you'll run off the bloody road. We're an hour and a half into our ride and things are going good. I was worried about these gloves being too tight and giving me a bloody spasm in the hand, and that's it. They are tight, but they're relaxing as I use them. I've recently bought myself a new Dry Rider upper jacket, and it's proving to be good. Yesterday's ride I had the liner in it, and I was a lather of sweating underneath, so I thought that goes today, and so I've got just a t-shirt and a woolen sort of vest on underneath there, and I can pull that vest off if I start sweating. And the other reason I like this jacket is it's got ventilation that I can whip the zips and let a draft in under my arms here to keep me cool. My previous jacket was one that I had in England when I was riding in the cold around London doing my nursing over there, and it was too hot even with the lining out, so that's a big improvement. Sometimes your feet get cold or too hot too on these bikes, and yesterday I had quite a set of thermal socks on and under these big boots, and my feet were stinking hot all the time, burning really. So that's a big improvement to get rid of that. I got a finer set on and my feet are just about right. Another improvement I can feel already is putting the sheepskin on the seat. Now it was after 5 or 6 hours on the bike that I started to get a sore ass here when I was way up to the Coromandel. And although the seat is not uncomfortable on the BMW, it's over time, sitting in one spot with your legs in one position, you tend to get baboon bum. So I thought I'll just try that sheepskin on. We've got an old dog that used to have this sheepskin. Now it's come across to my motorbike. She can go without, and she won't mind because she's gone deaf and blind, so she'll think she's just misplaced her sheepskin rug. So I'm still rolling through here, rolling through. I'll get into this lane here. Command the road, they say. I got some friends up here, Sue and Ken, and they live in this direction, and it is about cup of tea time, and I'll swoop by and see if there are cars there. If it is, cup of tea time coming up with Sue and Ken. Over the last 2 months I've been watching on Trade Me, and I seen a GV upper box to go on the very back of this, and gee, I won it for $10, but it cost me $20 to get it home. So when I got home I had this box to install. Normally there's a mount that you can quick mount that they have, you put it on your back rack and off and on it comes. Well, this one here is on there permanently until I take it off again. It seems to be alright. It took me a while to work the catch and all that sort of thing, but it's on, and my idea is to have that so I can put the Phantom drone in there with the controller, and that way I can use the drone with the motorbike as well. But you've got to be able to carry the controller, and I haven't worked out how I'm going to do that here on the front of my tank down here. You just put it up to the right hand side on follow me mode, but it won't be able to do 100 k's, but it will be able to do about 40 k's, and that's all right for a gravel road or something like that, you know. So that's something I'll try. I'll probably fly it into a bloody tree like that there, because you have it at a certain height. If you got it too low, you can't see what you're doing. If you got it too high, it's no good. And then, but you've got to have it above the McDonald's sign there, otherwise that gives you trouble too. So get in it. Thanks for the cup of tea, Sue. Lovely. See you when I do. Well, that was a pleasant catch up with Sue. I see now we've got 43 k's to run across to Raglan, so we'll nip over there and see what's happening. There's no great wind, the sun is lovely there. I see the temperature is, let's check that out there, 19 rising to 20 degrees at the moment. I'll just open my vent and my jacket here, that's because I can. Let a bit of air in under my body. And that makes it a bit more comfortable. I've just fueled up there at Hamilton, right by Sue's house, so we're all set to go now. So this is a road I haven't been on the motorbike, although I have been to Raglan, and that's where we go to the Hamilton Zoo. That was an enjoyable. I went there with the grandkids one time. It was fun. Chimpanzees and the whole range of things. It's all good. So the little yellow box down here, that's the emergency locator beacon. I use that on the on the jet ski all the time. I have it attached to my jacket in case I get thrown overboard. But it may as well come for a ride on the bike too, in case I peel off and go into the scrub. So that's what that's all about, and it doesn't cost anything to ride there. So I've got it there with a bit of Velcro holding it down. Now you have a look at the back of these gloves here. The Chinese have designed these. These come from China. They're made from goat's skin. But see on the top of my hand there, there's a vent. And that's directing air in and out over the top of my hand. Quite a cool feature. Now that glove's fitting good now. It'll even be better as we go. But I'm not having any spasms with that one there. But this one on the right hand side just feels a bit tight. I have got a couple of injuries from a couple of months ago when I fell off that e-bike. This finger's a bit tender, and it's only when you come and putting pressure on it, pulling in clutches and things like that, that it reminds you that I done something silly 2 months ago. But it is getting better, and it's on my left hand, the one I don't use so much. So as you can see now, we're coming into the autumn of the seasons here in New Zealand in mid to late February. The grass has died off. It's not as lush as it used to be. The cows are all still in full milk here in the Waikato, but the best of the grass is gone. The harvest is pretty much all done. All the silage is all baled up and wrapped up for the next winter's feed for the stock. But I do see all this corn laying around, and I'm thinking, whoa, I don't know much about corn, but whether that goes into a silage heap or what happens to that, I'll see if I can find that story out too. I've been watching a couple of YouTubes on riding over a distance, and that's what I intend to do, is ride right down to Christchurch and even to Timaru. In my first ride, I'm going down there to support my daughter babysitting for my grandson, so that'll be a bit of fun. So I just stopped for a comfort stop, and we'll have a look at this maze here. But that's the box I put on the back. I'm going to carry my clothes and that in there, my drone in there. I got my sheepskin pad there to stop getting baboon bum, they call it. And I had to put a good mount here onto this GPS and prop it back on the right angle there. That took about a day to fart around with that to get that right. And I use it intermittently. And I've also got one up here that I can put it up on the top here as well to look back. Where did I put that other mount? Oh, over here on this side here. And that gives you that view looking forward like that. Anyway, we'll just see if we can chop it up and change it round. Let's have a look at this maze and see what we make of it. They're quite big lumps already, aren't they? Don't know how much more they go before they start harvesting it. It's as hard as the hobs of hell. It's not the sweet corn that we're used to. I got caught out with that one other time in Aussie. I jumped the fence and grabbed a couple of corns, and when I got them home you couldn't eat them. They were as tough as old boots. So if I see a farmer, I'll ask him when he's going to harvest his corn and how the hell they process it and what the heck's going on. Well, we're coming into Raglan already. That was a quick ride across here. Welcome to Raglan. I got talking to a farmer back there about that corn that I thought there. No, he says it's maize, and they're gonna get that particular farmer there just grows the paddock of maize and then sells it to a farmer out in the Waikato there who gets a contractor to come in and take it away and put it into silage on his farm. So that's the story of that particular paddock anyway. So here we are in Raglan, and we better concentrate on the traffic now because you don't know who's intoxicated out here. So we'll follow this car here down into the town centre, do a quick cruise of the town and look for the harbour, and we'll have a rest there. These are phoenix palms like the ones I've got in Hokitika on the front lawn there. And
left on Wainley Road.
What?
To the roundabout.
So this is the main drag of Raglan. But I don't know what age those phoenix palms would be. They'd be old buggers. Harbour View Hotel if you're interested. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go out onto the wharf here and see what's happening. Big Pahutakawa trees all along the shorefront here. Look, there's a big green lawn there, right, just made for me. So I'll go down here and do a U-ey and come back onto that one. And that'll give us a look at the harbour. Stand back, stand by. There's a car right at me bump. This is a good car park here. We'll just bring her in here like that. And we can see out to the bar out there. I must bring the jet ski over here and go for a play. I'm not hungry yet, but we'll go out to more or less out to the heads. Never been out here. And if you haven't, this will be the first time you've been here too. $21 now, and I've got that woolen vest.
Turn left on Lee Street.
Now that's my GPS telling me to go back. I won't take any notice of that. I've got my woolen vest on under here, under this jacket. That can go now because I've got a bit of heat on under this jacket. And that's my objective, is to get way out to those heads there and have a quick look out there. Let's see if we can do that. Shouldn't take long on this bike, should it? It'll be bloody quick on the jet ski. Whoosh! But that's low tide, I'd say, at the present time. Keep your eye on the road, Alvin.
When possible, make a U-turn.
I just set the GPS for Raglan, so it thinks I need to be back there a bit, so I can disregard that talking. So it says 3 hours 15 minutes to here. Well, that's that you got to take a half an hour onto that for a cup of tea time with Sue. We'll just go out on the bare bone maps without it talking to us, and that'll be all right. She's a one-way road. You've got to go out this way. Someone there's got toothpaste all over her nose. You're supposed to put it around your teeth. Hello, another bloke doing it too. We'll go up higher and look down on the beach. I get off this bike. Where I was hoping to get was out on those headwaters there, so I've come too far around. But there's the bar there, and on up round to Auckland in the distance. Raglan Beach is a favourite spot for those seeking to get the adrenaline rush riding waves. There's 5 spots in this area, from beginners right round to the advanced. The big waves along this coast are more for the advanced, where the rocky bottom will tear the flesh if you get it wrong.
300 meters. Turn right on Lee Street.
Well, I've opened up all the ventilation on this jacket, and I've taken off the woolen layer underneath, and it is lovely to feel the air hooling through under my arms there. Now it's 11:30 in the morning, and I'm not hungry yet, so I'll knock off a few more miles and head back. I've tapped in Hamilton, and I might just have a look at those windmills on the way back, the wind farm here. Give way to him. No, don't need to. He's going that way.
Take the exit to Bow Street.
Right, up the hill and away. (21.5°C) out here at the moment. Nice even load of logs ahead there. Pinus radiata, I think. You can see the Douglas fir when they're a darker heartwood on them. And these are uniform white. That's convenient, he's letting us go. Bit of native timber on that other hill there. Woo, nearly got that bird. Did you see it come past? I think it was one of those miner birds. Generally they're pretty hard to get. They're very cunning sort of bird. It was refreshing to get that sea breeze out there, but I've just started to get this whiff of dairy farming again. The waste products from the dairy milking are pumping the urine back out onto the paddocks. There we are, rolling back through Hamilton again. About 100 k's back across to Tauranga. But I'll just take you another way when I get back over further. It's I'm going to show you this Karapiro Dam and around the lake there. That's an interesting spot to have a look at. But while I'm going through town here, I want to just tell you, a friend of mine from Greymouth came up recently, a bloke called Ray Thomas. He drives milk tankers down there for Westland Dairy. I've known him for bloody years, a good bloke. Help you out, do everything for you. But anyway, he was coming up here and I met him here in Hamilton, and he has a fascination with exotic animals, so I said, well, let's go and have a half a day at the zoo here, because there's chimpanzees and bloody zebras and God knows what. He was very keen on all this, you know, so I've just got to watch the road a little bit here because I'm not too familiar with where we're up to. Anyway, we went to the zoo and we had a good time there.
Take the second exit to Rifle Range Road.
Rifle Range Road. Okay, second exit. We can do that. Second exit, this one here, that'll do it. So this bloody day out at the zoo was going well, and it came to the time to have a look at the giraffes. Well, they feed out of a big stack of hay up high on a pole. They pull the pole so they don't have to eat off the ground, and the observation platform is right beside that there, so you can see these giraffes. Now, I didn't know that they had a long tongue, about bloody, well, 8 to 10 inches long, that they can stick out and grab tucker with. And the colour of this tongue is blue. It intrigued me. We were watching there, and then this big bull giraffe come on over, and it reached out, and Ray kept his ground. He didn't retreat from it or anything, but the giraffe reached its head forward and outshot this bloody big blue tongue from the giraffe and licked Ray across the face. Well, it was a very serrated sort of tongue, and it got him across the eye, and Ray pulled back from that and was winking and blinking and carrying on there. He thought, oh, but his eye was tender all the bloody afternoon there, looking around. He, you know, he's starting to close his eye and it's a bit tender, so they put a bit of a dampener on the zoo visit. So we're back at the motel that night, 10 o'clock or so, like that, and Ray said to me, have a look at this bloody eye, will you? And all his face on one side had swollen up where this giraffe had licked it there. And it was, you know, he's all swollen on one side. I said, look, Ray, we better go and get that checked out. I don't know, but I've never heard of an allergy to a giraffe, but we better go to the ED. So we got in the car and down the ED we went. Took a while to get all registered and checked in, and they put us in a quiet room there. A quiet room with 2 beds in it. We had to wait for the nurse or the assessor to come there. And now you don't get a doctor, you only get a nurse, so That's who we had to wait our turn. And the bloke got ushered into the bed beside us there. You could see, you know, he was just there behind the curtain, and it's only the three of us, and we were all waiting for a nurse. Anyway, the nurse came in and started dealing to this other bloke while we were waiting for our turn. And he says, look, he said to the nurse, this is very embarrassing. He says, I hope you don't laugh at me or anything like that. And she said, no. She said, I've been a nurse for 35 years now, and humour is not part of the job at all. I've never laughed at anyone in the job here. He said, are you sure? Because he was obviously anxious. Are you sure? He said. And Ray and I look at each other and think, what the hell is all this about? He said, so anyway, he pulled his bloody pants down, and bugger me dead, he exposed his penis. But you know how batteries are size C, they're quite round, size AA, down a size from that, and then you get the AAA. Well, that's smaller again. Well, half a AAA battery, that's what he had hanging out the front of him there. Well, this nurse could not control her mirth. She thought, that's special. And she burst out bloody laughing. And you know how humour is, you get swept up in it really, so both Ray and I joined in her merriment at this poor bugger's expense. And she's rolling around the floor and everything like that, bent over and laughing, and she regains her composure after about 5 minutes. She goes through an apology phase then, saying to this bloke, oh look, I'm so sorry, never in 30 years have I embarrassed myself with my at somebody else's expense while I'm on duty. That's terrible, and I'll never do it again. I'm wholly apologetic for that. Anyway, she is still stifling her bloody laughter, and said to him, now what seems to be the problem? And he says, you sure you won't laugh? And he says, she gave her another reassurance that all would be well, and then he says, it's swollen. Oh Jesus, I better concentrate on this traffic here. I have taken a wrong road here, but anyway, there's a hospital over there where that wasn't the one we went to, was it, Ray? So I've turned off the main drag now, and I'm heading into a little town called Carapero. Pretty famous here for rowing, you know, the big long boats with about 10 a crew in it. And I thought I'd show you around in here. But also, I just need to wee stop. I've got about how many k's to go? 76 k's to get home. But I might as well do that safely by having a stop, a bit of a pie or a bun or something, and a bit of a relax off the bike, and then I can do that last hour home no trouble at all. Well, let's hope so anyway. So we're going down here to the dam. The dam. And there it is. That blocks up the Waikato River there, and holds all this lake back here called Lake Karapiro. There's the rest of the lake up through there. Now I've never been in here and played on the jet ski, but there you go, there's an opportunity to do that. And I bet this is a boat ramp here with which I can pop it in. And it is. Because we've come here, we might as well go across it and have a quick look over the side if we can. There's the Waikato River down there.
When possible, make a U-turn.
Big dam face there. A lot of concrete to put it together, isn't it? That's looking up the dam, and of course you can't go any closer than that ring of buoys there. Because we've been one way, we better go back and do it the other way. I suppose we better wait until the red light. To activate lights, drive up to the white line and push the black button. Let's do that. There's a black button. Now I've got to get back a bit so I can see where it goes green. Still red. So that's the Kaimai range straight ahead there. We're going up over where that grass is just there. A little spot there, zigzag your way up to the top. Well, now we're heading up the Kaimai range here. We've got 2 lanes going up and 1 coming down. That allows the big trucks to keep over and let the cars through. You never know what's coming the other way, so I just stay in behind here unless it's definitely clear. String of boys there going for a burn up. Bit of road works up here, I think, in this bit, isn't there? Now you'll see that note on me attached to the inside of my screen there. SU. That's my aid memoir to stay upright. The next one you'll probably guess, enjoy the ride. Well, it has been fun today. I've not pushed the bike too hard, just going steady, making sure I'm safe around all the corners and things, not overtaking where I have to open the throttle up. And the final one there, GHS, well, that's get home safe. Well, that's what I intend to do. As I come up here, steady, stay behind cars rather than try and overtake them, and just do it all safely. I'm down to number 1 gear here already. This road must get hell here with these big trucks coming up all the time, tearing up the ground and things, so they're doing it before the winter, I suppose. Gee, a lot of equipment now to repair a road, isn't there? So my equipment check, my gloves are starting to feel better. I thought this one on the right hand side here might have given me a bit of jip being too tight, but no, it's not too bad at all. And my injury to this hand here, well, it's okay. I know I've still got it. I could take some analgesia towards the end of my ride if I wanted to, but that's sort of like a gauge to tell you get off the bike. I just see one thing that I've got to fix. I'll go and buy a new clutch lever cable here. I'd done a temporary repair to the end of it here, but it fell off, so that'll cut the glove and everything with a sharp end on it. It's a sacrificial end that if you dump it, that breaks rather than damage the bike, and I broke it before I put these bloody good bark busters on the outside here. So that is something I want to do, because when you got a tender hand, you use the outside aspect of your hand there on the clutch too. So we just roll back into the Bay of Plenty here now. What's the temperature here? Let's get the temperature. 21 degrees still. So that's Mount Maunganui away out there in the Bay of Plenty. Well, thanks for riding along with me today. I've enjoyed my outing, and I'm much more prepared for my ride down south now, so I'm going to sign off as we go down here. There's no need for you to ride with me all the way back into Tauranga, because you've done that before. Okay, thanks for following us. Bye. Oh, by the way, don't be shy in putting comments on there. It's always good to hear from people that get something out of these. Say the things that you like more of or the less of. And I'll catch you on the next video.